All right, welcome everybody out there that has tuned in tonight. You're watching Amateur Radio Roundtable. It's a show about ham radio. And you may be listening on international shortwave on WBCQ on 7490 kilohertz out of Monticello, Maine. And that's a 50,000 watt station, a little bit more than I can run in my ham shack here, but it gets out fair. I'll just say that. So send us an email if you're hearing us. Love to hear from you if you're hearing us on shortwave. And just let you know, you can also watch the show if you go on Tuesday nights to our website, w5kub.com, and you can watch the show and join us in the chat room. Let me give you an email address. I don't know if I gave you the email address. tom@w5kub.com. tom@w5kub.com. Send us an email. Let us know where you are. Hey, guys, if you will, I need everybody's help. I don't know why it's so difficult. Only about 40% of the people who watch the show subscribe. I need you to subscribe. So look at there. Man, look at it. Look at that subscribe arrow I got there, man. Please subscribe. Hit that little box down there and subscribe. It really helps us out to for YouTube to help promote our show, and it helps us a whole lot. So just please do that. Also, we'd like to invite you to join our Ham Radio Facebook group. We have a Ham Radio Facebook group. Somewhere between 12 and 13,000 hams in that group right now. It's a great group. A lot of activity in that group, and just search for W5KUB, and you can join right into our Facebook group there. Let's see what else is going on. Weather here has been fairly good lately. We got a little bit of maybe some sleet and ice coming in tomorrow night. We'll see how that goes. Let's see what else is going on. Got a new product I want to talk about tonight. It's something I bought that I'm really excited about, and it's going to be interesting. We've got Raisa. We're going to run that again tonight. Last week I ran the wrong video. I only showed her putting up the antenna. I completely messed that up where we didn't have the interview, the little interview before and after, and she has some neat things to say. So we're going to look at that tonight. And if you don't want to watch the antenna shooting video again, go get some coffee or something during that part. But I think you'll enjoy it again tonight. So let's. I haven't heard from Alan. Alan said he's going to try to make it. He's running a little late, so he may pop in here in a little while. I don't know. But let's go out and talk with let's check there with Glen. Hey, Glen, how you doing tonight?
Oh, doing pretty good. We got to do the Jackson Hamfest this past weekend, and now we're already winding up and getting ready for Orlando, putting together that presentation and simultaneously putting together the one for QSO Today's Online Expo middle of next month. Got to get that recording in, which is why I've got the headphones on tonight, doing it the right way.
But, well, the headphones are making you sound really good tonight. This is probably the best you've ever sounded.
Yeah, I tweaked the audio on Zoom. I found a video out there that gave you all sorts of secrets with Zoom, so I tweaked the audio a little bit.
All right.
And just wanted to tell Rich before we turn it over to him that me and his kid editor hatched up a whole bunch of evil plans while we were in St. Louis. We went to Micro Center over there together, and we had just all sorts of fun there. But yeah, we're going to be getting back together in Orlando. So yeah, there's some evil stuff fixing to happen over there.
Boy.
I'm looking forward to what you guys come up with. It should be lots of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm getting ready for the ice and cold. I don't have a generator, but they're talking sleet and ice storm and snow. And I work with the power company, and they've got their emergency crews on standby and all of that fun stuff. So it's supposed to get nasty tomorrow, but we just don't know how nasty yet. It's always right on that dividing line.
Yeah, we're right on kind of the edge of it. It overlaps us a little bit, but sometimes that can be major and sometimes it's nothing. So you never really know. And hey, for everybody out there that is asking about it, yes, I got my 22 kW generator completely installed. It's on natural gas. It does, the entire house. It starts automatically, and we're ready, man. I mean, I don't want to say I'm waiting on a power outage, because that's not nice, but we're ready. If there's a power outage, it ain't going to happen here.
Yeah, what he doesn't know is I've run a 20-mile extension cord to my house, so if it does go out, I've got it too.
The funny thing about that, I was talking to the contractor guy, and these things are a little noisy. They're not quite as noisy as just a standard portable generator, but they're a little noisy.
They're hefty.
And I've got bushes, and I've got fence, and I'm kind of down in a valley that kind of block it. But it's a little loud. And I said, well, do you ever have neighbors complain about that? And he says, yeah. He says, what we do, we put them a 15-amp receptacle outside right here, and they'll come over and run in a plug-in extension cord, and then they quit complaining. So,
yep, that'll do it.
So there we go. I'm not to that spot yet there, but I do help my neighbor out on the other side. We do run a heavy extension cord over at his house, and when we have long outages, we do get him, some basic power over there. So, yeah, okay. Well, hey, let's jump around. Rich is here with us tonight. How you doing, Rich?
I'm doing great, and we got about 6 inches of snow on the ground here from last weekend's storm, and there's one coming up this week. I think we're only going to get rain out of it. It's supposed to go up to close to 50 degrees tomorrow on Thursday. So I think we're only going to get rain from it. So it'll melt off some of the snow that we got. Just a little bit east of us out on Long Island and on the Jersey Shore, though, they got really hit hard, full-scale blizzard over there. So we got lucky.
All right. Well, you guys, I don't know how you handled it up there with all that snow. Bill's in the chat room here, WZ1L. He's got 2 feet up there. I think they're digging out. I don't know, man. And I hear places. I got a friend up in Syracuse. I don't know if he's telling a fib or not, but he tells me they get he's right there on the lake. He tells me they get 29 feet of snow a year. Now, is that possible?
Oh yeah, my son spent 9 years in Syracuse going to graduate school up there, and they got tremendous amounts of snow. I don't know if it's 29 feet, but certainly quite a bit. That lake effect snow can really give you a real whack. I remember we were up there once. His birthday's in early February. We were up there for his birthday once, and we went out to dinner, and it wasn't doing anything when we went into the restaurant. And by the time we came out, there was 4 inches of snow on the ground.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, wow. Oh, well, hey, man, we are so glad you're with us tonight. We missed you last week, but...
yeah, sorry, I missed that.
That's okay. It happens, and, we're only 7 days away from last week. So why don't you talk to us about CQ and give us a scoop and all kinds of stuff. So go right ahead, dear.
Okay. All righty. Be glad to. First of all, I want to give people a little bit of an update. It's really no secret that we've been having some challenges with our print edition over the last few months, and it's been a difficult time, but we're slogging through. We're hoping to get everything back up and running very, very soon, and get January and February in print and in the mail very soon. The earlier editions, we were hoping to be able to get them out as well. We'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, we are extending all print subscriptions by whatever the number of issues that we've missed are, and also making PDF versions available to any print subscriber who would like them. You can just drop me an email if you want. And I've got September through December here in my home office. I still need to get my hands on the January one. But any print subscriber who is looking for those issues, just drop me an email at my call sign at cq-amateur-radio.com, and I will send them back to you via email. We're really sorry for all this, and it's really part of a long-term trend in the publishing business. and the rise of the internet. And 15 years ago, if you were an advertiser, and in this business particular, you had like 2 or 3 magazines that you split your ad budget among. Now that same budget in most cases has to be split among a whole variety of different venues, not only the print magazines, but programs like this one and others, similar ones, and websites and stuff like that. So those budgets that really haven't changed are being split up in smaller and smaller pieces. So the share of the monthly revenue that a magazine traditionally got from advertising versus subscribers is shrinking. So that it's shifting. We have to rely more on subscribers than advertisers to carry the weight. And of course, we don't want to overburden our subscribers because, everybody's already dealing with all this inflation that's going on and supply chain issues. And of course, that's affecting us too. So we're open for ideas on expanding our circulation to bring in new people. We've got 750,000 hams out there, and I'll bet a whole lot of them would enjoy reading CQ if they only knew about it and knew how to find us. So if people have ideas for innovative ways to reach out to those people, I would love to hear from you, and we'll see what we can do. Same email address. So, again, hopefully very, very soon we can get the presses rolling again and start things moving on a regular basis. So it's been, I know it's been frustrating for all of you, and it's been even more frustrating for all of us. So we're doing our best. Oh, some people have wondered whether we're trying to push everyone into going to all digital. We're not. The truth of the matter is that today's publishing world is multimedia, and an all digital magazine really isn't a sustainable business model, and neither is all print anymore. So you have to have both. And our readers generally really prefer one or the other, and we're not trying to push anybody into something they don't want. But at the moment, we've been fortunate that we've been able to get our digital subscriptions, our digital issues out on a regular basis, and hopefully we will be back up and running on the print side very soon. So I appreciate everyone's patience and understanding as we all move through these kind of uncharted waters together as we navigate the pandemic and all the fallout from it, from supply chain issues to staff shortages and all that stuff. So thank you all for hanging in there with us. We really appreciate it. So moving on to our February issue. It's our QRP special, and it came at just the right time. It gave me the inspiration to finally take the QCX Mini kit that I've been sitting on for months now and actually start building it. So here we are so far. I've got the main toroid together and a bunch of the capacitors installed, and I've only been working on it a couple nights here. So that's finally moving along. A lot of the components are surface mount, and they're already done at the factory.
I'm told the most difficult part of building it is that toroid, that trifilter toroid.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's it's an exacting thing you've got to do. I have the 30. Let's line this up. Ken?
There you go, right there.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
A nice looking winding job.
Yeah, thank you. I have the 30-meter version that's 30 turns on the top and then 3 4-turn coils underneath. What I love about coils, and it makes the work that goes into it worthwhile, is this is the only component that you actually make yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody makes resistors or capacitors but you make your own coils, and how many turns you put on determines the value. And I think that is just so cool that it makes it worthwhile to me to put the effort into carefully winding those coils. So
What's that monster chip that goes on that board?
that is a the microprocessor. Let me see.
Oh, is that a PIC 32?
I'm not sure exactly. I gotta find unfortunately the manual is only on is digital, and it's on the same iPad I'm using to talk to you right now, so I can't look it up.
And you almost need a magnifying glass to read the numbers on the chip.
No kidding.
I know. This is the chip, but it's got the firmware version on there.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know.
Odds are it's a
It
PIC.
looks like, yeah. So, but it's a 28-pin chip. So
Yeah.
Very cool.
I forget exactly what it is. It's going to be a fun kit to put together. It's very exacting because the case that comes with it is very precise in the dimension. So you have to be sure to get all of your components flush with the board. Can't have them sticking up an eighth of an inch or a 16th of an inch. They got to be flush with the board, and they got to be in just the right place. Otherwise, it won't fit into the case when you have it put it all together. So it's going to be fun to build and a challenge. But
Yeah, Mark, N4
Looking for
BCD in the chat room had a really good statement about there being a Zen-like experience in finishing a toroid. He's right.
definitely. So, but back to the issue. Our QRP issue is on obviously low power and stuff like that. We've got a whole bunch of stuff on QRP plus a whole lot of other stuff as well. But the QRP special starts out with a story from WB9HTH called 5 Watts and a Dipole, My Return to Ham Radio. Jim, WB9HTH, had been inactive for 40 years. He kept his license going, but he had been off the air for 40 years. Finally, after he retired, he had time to get back in, and the way that he found worked best in his environment was for him to get back on with QRP, CW, and he's having a ball. So he wrote that up for us, and that's just a fun story. Gene, K5PA, takes his laptop and his HF rig out to the field to do FT8, so you're not stuck in your home station to do digital stuff, and he talks you how to do that. And then we've got a feature that we've had the last few years in our QRP special, or QRP Quickies, where we've got some short stories from a variety of people on adventures with QRP. And our favorite goat hiker, WG0AT, Steve Gauchet, has a piece on introducing another ham to QRP Soda, Summits on the Air. And in fact, his friend is on our cover. And we've got another one, 35,000 miles per watt. Did I mention it was raining? Got to read the rest of that. A 10-meter surprise, the only signal on the band, and I think that would look really strange on a piece of wood. It's a piece about the tuna tin 2, not built into a tuna tin. So it was... Okay. We've got our QRP column by K8SMA. His topic this month is called Less is More for suppliers as well. He's got talks about the benefits for manufacturers of QRP and small rigs and things like that, and how the QRP interest is really fueling a whole sub-industry here. And that's really a very interesting piece. For our classic this month, we take you back to the return of our QRP column. We've had QRP columns in the magazine since 1973, but they've gone through various iterations. And the current one came back in 2000, 20 years ago. I'm sorry, 22 years ago now, by Dave Ingram, K4TWJ, who's unfortunately a silent key. He had been writing about QRP quite a bit in his World of Ideas column for a long time, and then we decided to shift it into its own column back in 2000. So if we have his first separate QRP column from then as our classic. We've got a couple of different de-expeditions to talk about, and one of them is in our DX column on the S9OK expedition to Sao Tome, which was a really cool operation. And then because it's February, Valentine's Day, we have a de-expedition to Love Island in the Mediterranean by 4Z1ZV, a special event operation 4X100AI, this tiny little island in the Mediterranean. And also along our Valentine's Day mini theme, KB8OIS has an article on the first marriage proposals using Morse code over the radio. That goes back a ways.
Yeah.
Another February tradition we have from K8ZT is his annual WPX crossword puzzle, because this month marks the beginning of our WPX contest season. We have the WPX RIDI contest on the 12th and 13th of this month for any of you who are not going to Orlando. And although actually, I think, is Orlando that weekend or the weekend after?
I think it's the 12th or 13th, right in that area.
No, Orlando is the weekend of the 12th and 13th.
Okay. So if you're not going to Orlando and you do enjoy RIDI, get on the WPX RIDI contest. And then, of course, the WPX sideband contest is in March and CW contest is in April. So every year, Anthony does a WPX crossword where each of the answers resembles a call sign. It may or may not be a real one, but it's a lot of fun to play with. If you've read the January issue, you know that we had two part ones of two articles, one on microphones and audio speech processing for single sideband by W5GW and K5PA, and another one on EMP and lightning surge protection for HF radios by N5SK. Both of those, we have our conclusions this month as well. So we wrap those up. If CW is something you're trying to learn, and we've got, and maybe having a little bit of a difficult time with it, we have a piece by Papa Alpha 2 Golf in the Netherlands on his experience using CW Academy. And he recommends it very highly. So that's something to check on. Sherlock, our electronics investigator, is back with us, and he's investigating noise this month. And Tom, you were talking about your generator and looking for, hoping for a power outage. Mm-hmm. Well, he writes about that too, that he was having some incredible noise on 630 meters and couldn't track it down. And then they had a power outage, and he thought it was wonderful that they had a power outage, because he could then try to track down the source of the noise a little more efficiently. Yeah. So he was happy to have the power go out. I'm guessing he had a generator too. Among our other columns this month, in addition to the QRP and DX columns that I already mentioned, Matt's notes is we've got a couple of different generators here. Matt's notes, we talk about inexpensive high-speed pulse generators, and in kit building, Joe, I'm sure you're out there, he writes about a low-priced function generator that you can build in the kit building column. So generating lots of good information. Mm-hmm. For our shortwave listeners out there, a listening post column this month by Jerry Dexter. Jerry talks about the regional shortwave outlets in India that he had reported a couple of months ago that they were possibly going off the air, and he's pleased to report that that is not correct and that they are staying on the air. But unfortunately, this year's issue of the World Radio TV Handbook apparently is going to be the last one. And it's been a tremendous resource for shortwave listeners for many, many years now. There's no reason given publicly for the decision to shut down, but apparently this 2022 edition is the last World Radio TV Handbook that will be published. That's really a loss for the hobby. We've got the results of the USA National ARDF Championships, Amateur Radio Direction Finding, which were held in North Carolina. And antennas editor Kent Britton, WA5VJB, takes us back to basics with a cheap Yagi for 70 centimeters, different versions for different parts of the band. Speaking of VHF and UHF, VHF Plus editor N4DTF writes about the approach of sporadic E season. Good to get your hopes up, because the sporadic E will be here, and some good DX will show up on the bands. And propagation editor NW7US talks about general propagation coming up for February. Sporadic E season, of course, you're not going to find in February. That's going to be as we get towards summer. In our awards column this month, KWR, our awards editor, writes about the Elk Award from Finland. And this is a personal award put together by our friend here, Raisa.
And here we go, right here. She's part of our team right here.
Yep.
I hear she did really well.
Yeah, and she's also got her license in Finland as Oscar Hotel 7 Bravo Golf. And she is sponsoring this Elk Award. And it's named, obviously, after the favorite creatures of Finland. And you have to, what do you have to do to get this award? It's deceptively simple sounding, but it isn't when you get there to trying to do it. You have to work the 10 different call areas of Finland and one QSO with special event station OH73ELK.
And then you have to string a dipole across the antlers of a moose? Of an elk?
That's correct. Of an elk, yes.
And I think Raisa has operated at Special Operations Station a number of times, so she's very familiar with it.
Hey, I really need to go for that award. I really need to go after that award.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill. Glad you could get here. Cool. And let's see, what else? Contesting. N3QE talks about the importance, and this applies beyond contesting, but specifically for contesting and contest scores, the importance of accurately copying call signs, and how getting call signs right can make you a winner when you might have otherwise been in second place. He's got a couple of examples of scores that have swapped places because of a greater number of errors in copying call signs. So, but of course, getting it right is something that's important, not only in contesting, but in emergency communications and a whole lot of other stuff. So it's good reading, even if you're not a contester. That about covers our highlights for the February issue. We were running a little late on getting everything finished up for this issue, so I don't think it came online today. Hopefully it'll be up tomorrow or Thursday. And that's our fault on the production end and nothing else. And again, hopefully we'll be getting the print issue out very, very soon as well. So
all right,
that's about it.
Well, Rich, thank you very much, man, for sharing all that with us tonight. Really a lot of interesting articles there. And again, you had mentioned at the beginning, if people contact you and they have the paper subscription, you'll be able to hook them up with a digital subscription.
Well, actually, what we can do is send them PDFs of the issues that were missed. If people do want to switch from a print subscription to digital, we can take care of that as well. Again, we're very, very hopeful of getting the print edition back on track very, very soon.
Okay, so you would send them the PDF of the back issues.
Send them the PDF.
And, hey, I look at the PDF. The PDFs are great. You get the entire magazine there, and I like it.
So what's that email to send again, Rich?
It's to my call sign, W2 Victor Uniform, at CQ-magazine.com. amateur-radio.com, and I will as I mentioned before, I have September through December here in my home office, and I don't have January as yet, but hopefully I'll have that very soon as well. And if you'd like to subscribe, which I would love it if you all would, just go to our website at www.cq-amateur-radio.com, and you can sign up for print or digital or both.
All right,
that'd be great to get the
Thank you.
PDFs for my trip. Have something to read in the airport.
Yeah. Thanks, Rich.
I will say, Rich, that I just recovered every issue of 73 magazine in my barn. QST back to the 70s, CQ back to the 70s, and the print versions of those take a tremendous amount of space. So I'm all for digital versions now.
Yeah. I have saved all the years. I've saved all my magazines. And it finally got to the point where I'll take a stack now to a hamfest, maybe 50 or 100 of them, and just lay it out and let people take them, or I'll throw them away because I just don't have the room. Of course, Bill's got a barn to store them in, so he can probably store many more years there. Rich, thank you.
We do have annual compilations on CD, by the way, for those who like to get the paper copy but not store them.
All right.
We can do annual compilations on CD.
All right, thank you so much. We're gonna go out and talk with Raisa here in just a couple minutes. Thank you so much, Rich, and we'll see you next month.
All right. Okay. Good night, everybody.
And I'm so glad she right there. She's in CQmagazine, an award winner. Wow, cool. Hey, a lot of things to talk about tonight. We've got Hamfest, we've got Winterfest, we've got a new soldering station product I want to talk to you about. Bill Brown here put me on this. I'll tell you more about it a little later. We've got several things going. So hey, we'll be back in just a minute. Don't everybody go away, and we'll see you here in just a couple minutes. Didn't get everything to spice up your ham shack with ICOM's new ID52A handheld. This radio is perfect for staying in or venturing out. The ID52A is now shipping. ICOM's newest handheld amateur radio is a VHF-UHF dual bander with D-Star and FM dual mode functions. This radio supports conventional FM communications and D-Star simplex and worldwide calls over the D-Star Internet Gateway. The ID52A is the first handheld amateur radio with a full-color 2.3-inch waterfall display and the ability to send photos over D-Star with a connected Android phone. Features include a wideband receiver with guaranteed range of 144 through 148 and 440 through 450 megahertz. It has an integrated GPS receiver, including grid square location. It also has a micro USB for data transfer, programming, and charging, and it's IPX7 waterproof. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios.
LDG Electronics provides state-of-the-art antenna tuners for every amateur need. From QRP to QRO, fixed stations, portable and remote, an LDG tuner will match your radio to your antenna using our lightning-fast, proprietary tuning algorithms. LDG is a family-owned and operated company dedicated to bringing innovative, quality products to the amateur market. All LDG products carry a full 2-year warranty that is fully transferable. Support is only a phone call or email away. We're always here to help you. Visit us on the web at ldgelectronics.com.
All right, and we are back. And Glen was just telling me that he sold some radios at this Hamfest. We're going to talk about a Hamfest here in a little while that he went to. And hey, I sold something yesterday. Now that I've got my 22 kW home generator installed, I had an almost new 8750 watt portable generator that I've been using over the last few years, and I put that out there on one of the social media places to sell, one of the market sites, and man, within about I'd say within 30 seconds, ding, somebody wanted it. And then there was a second and a third and a fourth wanting it. Gee whiz, maybe I priced it too low. I sold it for about $450. Knew it was about $550, and man,
Well, the key is availability. I mean,
yeah, well,
nobody's got stock.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, that's probably exactly right. Okay, well, hey, guys, we messed up last week. We didn't get to talk to Raisa last week, so we're going to do that this week, and we'll be back with you in just a minute. Hey, she is the winner of the that contest that Rich was just talking about there in CQmagazine. So here we go, and let's see. Here we go. Okay, hey, it is time for us to go to Russia and talk with Raisa, R1, BIG. Hey, Raisa, come in here and tell us how you doing.
Hello, Tom. Hello, everybody. I'm very glad to see you. I'm very fine. I hope that you are too.
Hey, we're doing great here. We got our holidays over with. We had a lot of fun and got to see a lot of family and just a great time of the year. The weather has not been just really bad. It's been pretty nice here. But you had Christmas later than us. Your Christmas, I think, was January 7th. Right? Tell us about your Christmas.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And I have a very nice evening, Christmas ever. I was in Finland that time, and it was a very nice evening and day, and it was snowing in the forest. All this was very nice. And on the 15th of January, I had my birthday, and also was in Finland that time, and it was a nice 2 weeks for me too with my OM, Alex. We were together, and then I came back to Russia. I have many flowers from my relatives and friends here in St. Petersburg. They celebrated me a little bit later.
Well, great. And hey, I hope you got a lot of radio equipment for Christmas and all that. And maybe if you didn't get what you wanted, maybe next time, maybe for birthday, maybe you'll get it for your birthday. There's always hope. Always hope. Hey,
Yeah.
look, hey, I know, a lot of clubs are around the country in different places, ham radio clubs, and they have special events out there. Have you attended any special events in Russia lately?
Yes, we have here also the amateur radio clubs in Russia, many of them, and some of them I was visited last year in Sochi or in Rostov-on-Don. It is two cities on the south part of Russia. And last Saturday, when I was on the air, I took part in first time in the Roundtable in St. Petersburg and the area around St. Petersburg, and it was so nice. It was exactly in my birthday, and so many congratulations from the friends from St. Petersburg, and it was nice experience for me because I made it the first time. They are always on Saturday morning on this round table, but unfortunately, you know that I don't have my equipment here in Russia, and I could not be with them. But it was nice last Saturday.
Well, that's great. I've been a ham many years. I'm not a member of any club here. We do have some clubs in my city, but I think with COVID, most of the clubs still are not meeting like they used to. Are you a member of any specific club, or have you not joined any club?
No, I'm not a member from the club, but I am a member of see the Russian and Finnish radio society.
Okay.
I am a member, but not a club.
Okay, well, great, great. Hey, I know you'd operate portable, and I asked you, on I think our last time, I asked you to demonstrate for us the Big Shot. And, you know, I've seen the Big Shot. I do not have one, but I like the Big Shot. It looks like it would be very interesting. And I asked you if you could show us how you operate it, and I want to see how good you are with a Big Shot. So, tell us a little about the video coming up. You're gonna show us. You're gonna demonstrate the Big Shot. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. And it was my first time when I set up all my radio equipment myself. And the question was, can the YL organize her portable position alone? And the answer for the question you will see in the video, and then I will tell you a little bit more about my experience with the Big Shot.
Okay, well, let's look at that video, and I want to see how well you do. So here we go.
Hello, my friends. This is Raisa, R1BIG, and I have a question. Can a young lady install a portable ham radio position alone? And I am in this wonderful place. What I need for my portable working? Big Shot, because I have no here masts, and I will choose one tree and use it like a mast. Of course, I need a battery, and I have my transceiver, my portable transceiver, and the device for checking SWR. It is very important, but I need it later. Of course, the antenna, I will use monobone dipole antenna. It is 20 meters band antenna, cable, and of course it is very necessary to be safety. Let's start. I will use two cameras because I have not GoPro camera. It will be so. Блин. У меня произошло. Now I will try to get it up on the tree. I need this one. what I have. Now it's good. My dipole is not high. I don't know how high is it, but I will try. I have to tune. Very good. SWR only one. I'm very happy. Yoo-hoo! Now the antenna is ready, and SWR is 1.0. I'm very happy. And now I will install my table and all other equipment.
Into the artificial lake. The peninsula is about how long is this? Probably 2 kilometers long and 500 meters wide. So, uniform, calling the listener.
Radio 1, Bravo, India, Golf, stroke portable.
Romeo 1, Bravo, India, Golf, / portable. Good afternoon, you're 57. My name is Tudor, Tango Uniform Delta Oscar Romeo, and I'm 13 years old.
Todor, welcome to our wonderful ham radio world, and I'm really very happy that you are a young person and you are in our hobby. My dipole worked very well, and the answer on the question in the beginning of my video is yes. Young lady can organize her portable working on the air very well.
You will see it on qrset.com where I'm living.
All right, well, I'm back with Raisa here, R1BIG, and hey, that was a great video about the big shot there. Is that thing? Is it easy to use? Is it difficult? Tell us a little about it.
I like Big Shot very much, and I think that it is not difficult to do. Even if, for example, I don't have a very strong hand. They are weak enough, but even with this, I can do it, and I can use it and to put the rope quite high.
So it looks like it has plenty of power. It'll go a long ways. Or is it pretty accurate? Is it accurate? Can you put the rope exactly where you want it?
Of course, you need some practice to do it accurate, but I didn't have any problem with it. Maybe one shot or two shots, maybe 3 shots, but not more, because they are accurate on the place where you would like to have it.
All right. Well, you know, when I put ropes and strings in trees, sometimes it becomes tangled and it won't come down. Do you have that trouble? Have you ever had that trouble? And what do you do when you get a rope stuck in a tree? What do you do?
Sometimes it's happened, of course, because the trees are I don't know how should I say that many leaves and many how it's called. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Hey, it can easily get tangled in all the leaves and the branches and the tree.
Yes. Sometimes it's happened, and I could not do nothing. Only cut the rope, and maybe then I can put it down. But sometimes this it is not a stone. How it called it in English?
Stone or
not stone. Did you see in the video this small metal?
weight? Yeah, the metal, the weight, the object. I don't know. It could be many things.
Okay, we can say it's load. Yes, it is load.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Load. And the load, sometimes the load is still on the tree, still now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I always take extra loads with me because I have loads that are still up in the trees at my house that will not come down.
Yes,
Hey, well, look, hey, great.
Happen.
Thank you so much for showing us that video. We love it. Great job. Looks like you're having a lot of fun there in your portable operation, and you go to some very beautiful locations, and you make ham radio look like fun, and that's what we like. Let's tell everybody about your YouTube. They can go to youtube.com and just search for YL Raisa, and they'll find you. I think I've got it pulled up here. Let's see. That looks like that's Facebook. But there we go. There's your site on YouTube. Everybody go to it and join it, subscribe. And she has a Facebook group. She's got many different groups, but this is her Facebook group. It's just YL Raisa. Just go to it, and you'll see that she's got a lot of things going there, and I think you'll be impressed there. So, Raisa, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We really enjoyed it, and we'll see you again in a couple weeks. Have fun.
Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you. And today I just uploaded a new video on my YouTube channel. In this video, my friends from Italy taught me to make a QSO in Italian language.
Oh boy!
It's very fun video, and welcome to everybody to watch this video. It's very funny. Thank you so much. 73 and 88. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye. 73. All right. Well, that was fun, and I'm gonna have to give me a big shot. I think the thing worked very good. And you see the size of the nut that you can shoot with that thing? I mean, wow. I can see why she has to wear the hard hat now. All right. Well, very good. Hey, Glen. Hey, Glen, why don't we talk a little about one of the hamfests you went in, since we're running a little late here. We can do one tonight, and we can do one the next week. And I still want to talk a minute about the soldering station I've got here. But let's get a recap of one of the hamfests. Would you like to do the Jackson Hamfest or maybe the St. Louis? Which one do you want to talk about?
Let's do the St. Louis Winterfest and keep them in chronological order.
No, wait, the St. Louis Winterfest?
Yeah, it was actually Collinsville, Illinois, right across the river from
yeah.
St. Louis.
Okay. Did you send... I've got videos for Jackson. I've got videos for St. Louis.
Yeah,
and I got
St.
videos
Louis.
for Winterfest, Winterfest. But I think Winterfest and St. Louis are the same. That's why I had the problem.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. That's why they're the same here.
Yeah, it's about 10 miles across the river from St. Louis.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you want to do, which one you want to do? The St. Louis Winterfest first, right?
Right.
All right, look, I'm going to key it up here and let it run. You'll be able to talk over it and just kind of tell us your experience up there. So let's see if I can get it going here.
Oh, I can do it with one word, cold.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
I do not believe that my temperature meter in the car got above freezing the entire trip, up and back. But yeah, this was a relatively average hamfest is what I would say, but they had a lot of good equipment, good turnout. I did an Arduino forum there, and Ward Silver came down and did a forum, and Bob Heil was there, and he did his audio forum, and I got to say hi to those folks. And here we're just walking up and down the aisles to see some of the cool stuff that they had. A lot of older rigs were there. And Tom, in one of these images I did just for you, they had a military radio teletype unit that would seal up in a box. It wasn't a Model 15 or a 19. It was something much more compact.
Yeah, I've seen those. Uh-huh.
But there's some Collins gear that they had there. A lot of the good older rigs were there. And oh, look, this guy even had one copy of my book.
Is that right?
Yeah. And I ended up selling. I sold a couple of the smaller radios there. I sold my Microbit X and some other stuff. It was the following week in Jackson that I had the big fun. But I ended up.
Did they have masks? Well, I see one guy there without a mask.
It was not mandated. It was the typical masks are recommended, but it's your option.
Uh-huh.
In the hotel, it was mandatory in the hotel lobby. There's some more Collins equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the size of the show hall here and the crowd. And I mean, it was pretty good. And it was just bitterly cold outside.
Well, at least it was inside. That made it comfortable.
Oh, it was nice inside. Very nice. The whole event was inside. They had a nice little concession stand. And Joe Eisenberg drove over from, he's in Nebraska. And he drove over.
Yeah.
And he and I went into town to the micro center that they have there in St. Louis and did some shopping there. And that is just a cool place. So it was, all in all, a lot of fun on the weekend. There's their ATV setup, amateur television, that they had live going there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a CRT tester. And when was the last time you saw a tester and a CRT?
Well, when I grew up in the TV shop with my uncle, I saw one.
Yeah.
That was
and there's our buddy Ron with the hats and shirts.
Is that Ron right there?
And he had some really cool shirts this time. I'm going to have to get me a couple, but he's got a few new ones. He's got the Morse code that basically says stuff happens in code.
Yeah.
And just a whole bunch of nice shirts and hats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I say, I liked about half of his shirts, and it's just like not enough room in the suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
And the car was already full. There's the teletype I was telling you about, along with some big transmitters and receivers.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's I think that's all the videos there from that particular hamfest. Well, hey, it looks like you had fun here, and you sold some stuff, and you're getting ready to buy you a new radio. You almost got your money, right?
Yeah, I'm just maybe a paycheck or two away from getting me the Yaesu FT101 MP. That's going to be the rig I get for retirement, and forward on from there. That'll probably be one of the last radios I buy. And so I'm going out big with it.
All right. Well, hey, it's fun to get a new rig. And
I'm probably going to be placing the order in Orlando or sometime shortly thereafter.
All right. Well, hey, great. Hey, next week we'll go. We'll have you take us down to the Jackson, Mississippi Hamfest, and we'll talk a little about it. All right?
Yeah, and right after we do that, I'll be headed off to Orlando.
That's right.
So when I come back, I should have some footage of the Orlando event. I'm going to be doing the ARRL meet and greet with the authors and some of their YouTubers there. I'll be there Friday and Saturday, and then I'm doing an Arduino forum on Saturday. So Orlando's going to be a lot of fun.
All right. Well, I want you to get some good video and talk to people and come back and give us a report on it.
I'll do it. It's going to be fun.
All right. Well, just boy, we're doing great on time, I guess. I got one more thing I want to talk about before we invite everybody into Zoom, and Bill Brown's with us here. Bill recommended a Metcal soldering station, and I'm thinking, okay, so here's the issue, guys, that I've been a ham and I've been in electronics for 60 years. Grew up with the soldering gun. Most of all our work back then was, with a soldering gun. And then, last years I've been using an iron. I've got multiple irons, and I thought, an iron is an iron, but an iron isn't an iron. And for the most part, the irons did okay. But when I was building the tracker, this little tracker here, and I'm going to show you, I will talk about this later, but here's the tracker in the center right there. You can see the GPS on there. That's the white little spot in the center, and then right below it is the Arduino 32-pin 328P chip. Well, this is a little difficult to build because it's so small. The parts are so small. And so I got different soldering irons with very small tips. And for the most part, it was okay. I could solder the parts on, under the microscope, and they would solder fine. But on that little bitty board there's a ground plane. Some of the traces actually go to ground, And my soldering iron just would not keep up with the heat. On that little bitty half-postage stamp board, it just wouldn't do it. And, I'd put it on there and try to heat it up, and it would suck the heat out of my soldering iron. And then when I could get some solder on there, it looked like a cold solder joint, and it would just caked up. And then when I'd get in there and try to fix it, then I'd smear it, and it would get on another pin that's only, 1/1000th of a millimeter from the next pin over, and it would get it short. And then, you take your solder braid to put on there and try to heat it and get it out. It wouldn't suck it out, so you really make a big mess. And
Tom, I could have given you my first soldering iron.
Yeah.
It was one of those. It was about a foot long.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The tip was about that big around.
I know what you're talking about.
You'd have heated that board up in no time at all. You wouldn't have had any problems with it cooling down.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I used to
have windows too.
I used to have one of those. And it had a big old wooden handle on it, and it was about a foot and a half long, and the tip was the tip was as big as my thumb.
It had the cloth cord on it, the cloth power cord.
Yeah.
I've got one of those. I just found one in the barn. You can have it, Tom.
I don't need it, man. Look, here's what I did.
Solder all the parts at once.
Here's what I did. I finally realized after all these years that you got quality soldering equipment and you got cheaper soldering equipment. I always went for the cheaper stuff, and some of these soldering. I have bought 3 of these cheap adjustable temperature soldering stations off eBay over the last 3 or 4 years, and every one of them's gone bad on me. Every one of them's gone bad. I've got other soldering irons and so forth, but so I started thinking, Bill told me that, hey, look at the Metcal brand, and my understanding from Bill there, that a lot of production people, I guess a lot of manufacturers or production people use the Metcal brand just because it has a reputation for doing the job and under, I guess high stress and a lot of soldering. Even though my soldering iron was reading, 480 degrees when I had it on that board, it wouldn't even melt. It wouldn't even melt solder from the solder. So it couldn't keep up with it. So anyway, hey, I want to show you something. So I got me one in today. This is a Metcal. This is the smarts. It's got some smarts in here. I don't know, but it's got some smarts in here that just. I got a couple little 2-minute videos I'm going to show you about it. But this is it. Pretty simple. You don't set the temperature. It's all done automatically. Bill, I decided to go ahead with a new one. I was bidding on a used one, but I said, hey, I'm just going to go with a new one.
What model is that?
What model? This is the PS900.
Okay.
The PS900. And here's the interesting thing. Here's the tip and the soldering iron. It's a nice little iron. The very flexible cord on it. Let me get back here. And the nice thing about this is you can change tips out while you're soldering. And if you look at this, you can see it there. And the way the tip comes out is you just grab it and you just pull it off like that. And then you get you a different tip and you just put it in like that and push it in and the tip's installed. Now you might say, hey, that's hot. You can't pull it out with a hot. Well, look, they give you
I was going to say, if it smells like chicken, you're definitely doing
that's
it
right.
wrong.
Well, look, hey, it even comes with a quick thing to pull it out with right here while you're soldering. So, I probably won't use it, but you just put that around it and burn yourself, I guess, and you pull it out. So now the tips are all you can get many different tips. This is a real fine point. You can get chisel points, you can get wider points, and so forth. I got a couple just real short videos talking about this. I want you guys to see it and kind of hear how it works. So again, this is and they send you the little stand. It's a kind of neat stand, and it's got your your sponge in here and the little thing here to clean it with. It's pretty heavy. In fact, that's not plastic there. That's a metal stand. Usually, when you buy one of these things, you get a plastic stand. So here's a couple videos real quick I want you to see about this, and it talks a little about it. The heat recovery is almost instantaneous, and it's adjusted automatically. So here we go.
The Metcal tip cartridge contains a heater that consists of a copper core and an outer layer of magnetic alloy. It's the composition of this special alloy that predetermines the tip temperature and keeps it regulated at the solder connection. Surrounding the heater is an inductive wire coil through which an RF current is passed. A phenomenon known as skin effect causes the current to be confined to the outer layer of the magnetic alloy, resulting in high resistance that causes rapid heating. As the alloy heats up, it approaches its Curie point temperature. This is a physical constant at which the alloy's magnetic properties change. As the properties change, the current spreads through the whole heater, reducing the resistance, which effectively reduces the power delivered. This immediately stops the heating effect. During soldering, as the tip cools, the alloy falls below its Curie point temperature and regains its magnetic properties. The skin effect immediately returns, increasing the resistance, and heating begins again, repeating the cycle. As this occurs, the tip self-regulates very close to the Curie point, plus or minus 1 degree Celsius at idle. The temperature can never exceed the Curie point, just as water will only boil at 100 degrees Celsius regardless of the amount of heating power. In effect, Smart Heat regulates the amount of power delivered to the solder joint. The result is a system that responds dynamically to thermal loads and requires no calibration. Smart Heat systems apply direct power to the solder joint.
All right, so that's a little about it. Let's see, I got one more minute video here. Let's see what they say here.
From the moment you power it on, your OK International soldering tool is ready to perform. Whether you choose Metcal or OKI soldering tools, you get a line of long-lasting interchangeable tips that provide optimal performance with lead-free materials. Both brands of soldering tools employ Smart Heat technology, which eliminates the need for calibration. By sensing the exact thermal requirement for each solder joint, Smart Heat delivers a precise amount of thermal energy for the most reliable solder connection. To protect against accidental tip removal, OKI and Metcal soldering tools have automatic fault protection, which safeguards the system and the user with auto shut-off technology. And the auto sleep workstand increases tip life by allowing the tip cartridge to idle at a lower temperature when placed in the workstand and reactivates instantly when removed for fast performance. For the best training, application, and productivity
Comes with its own
advantages in the
SWR
industry,
meter?
choose OK International Soldering Tools.
All right. So that's kind of the story on the soldering iron system. I think I'm going to like it. And, I guess what sold me is that production lines are using this type of equipment. They're not using the cheapy stuff like I've always used, most of my time. So I haven't tried it out yet, but I'm looking forward to using it. And it wasn't too awful bad. This is the Metcal. This is the PS900, very heavy transformer or whatever, and the smarts that are in here. Again, no adjustment. It's just an on-off switch. And
how does it know what temperature to keep it at?
Well, I think they're by the
tips.
The tips have temperature.
Temperature.
They're set for temperature.
Okay, cool.
So it's pretty good. I think I found this one on an Amazon sale. I think it was like $289, and then you need to buy I think it came with one tip, and then of course you can buy tips, interchangeable tips, different size and so forth. I bought a couple other tips, and tips run anywhere from $13 to $20 a piece.
I like how quick they can change. The quick change tips are really handy.
Yeah. So
that changes a lot quicker than my soldering station.
So, Bill, thanks a lot. Again, I haven't used it yet, but thanks a lot for recommending this brand. I'm sold on it already and haven't even tried it yet. I'm going to try it on one of the little circuit boards in the ground plane a little later, but I have confidence it's going to do pretty good. And the iron it's very I don't know.
Looks like it fits well.
It's small. Good. It's small and it fits. It's light and it fits very well.
I noticed how in the demonstration video they do a whole line just like just sweep along the chip like that. I'm not brave enough to do that yet.
I've tried that. I think I think if you get the solder flux on there, and then if you don't get too much solder, you can go right across that sucker, and it'll. And
you need a good iron that maintains the temperature.
That's right. Right.
I saw a woman in a production line. I was going through an assembly house. She had one of those chips that had 100 pins on it, real fine pitch processor.
Yeah.
And she just went zip, 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 and she was done.
Wow.
Man. Yeah.
And it was all just. She had done so many of them, she knew exactly how fast and how much solder to put on it, and she barely had to touch up any bridges,
That's amazing.
Well, I've tried various different other soldering irons, the cheapies. I bought the solder stations and so forth. Now, I did buy a Weller, a name brand, a Weller. This was the WM120, very small, very minor, and it did a great job on those circuit boards. Except when you got to the ground, where it's got that ground plane in here, this one wouldn't do it. And even a larger one, even my larger iron wouldn't do it. And I thought, okay, well, this guy right here should do it, but it wouldn't do it. It wouldn't handle the heat. It wouldn't recover quick enough.
Yeah, I found a propane torch works really good, but the board doesn't tend to survive well.
Yeah. I mean, to get heat, at one point, I actually had this on the joint, and I had my other soldering iron on top of this one trying to get heat, and it still wouldn't do it. So
I had a kit I used to sell, and one guy sent it back.
Yeah.
And he says it doesn't work, and you troubleshoot it, and there were big holes drilled through the board, And I said, what kind of soldering iron did you use? And he says, well, it was a 250 watt solder gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had melted right through the board.
Wow.
This is my $1,000 Weller that I got for Christmas a year or two ago.
Yeah.
But it is nice, and it's got a quick release. Let me see if I can show you that. The nice thing about this iron is that it's on a phono jack, and you just pull it apart like that. There's a little, there you go. See, it's got a phono plug on it.
Yeah.
And there's the tip here. And you just, to change it out, you just push it back together like that. So it's very quick release, and there's no special, I don't have to use a special tool or rag thing that they've got there.
Yeah.
I just pull it apart because this part's not hot. So I can hot swap tips very easily with this system. It actually looks like a stereo. It's a stereo audio jack, but they put power through it. But it's a little pricier than yours because it would cost about $1,000 now.
Yeah, and I really don't want to put $1,000 into a soldering iron.
But I do have it does come with a desoldering tool. You know, one of these guys.
No, not seeing it there. Oh, hold it there. Hold it up a little higher. There you go. Yeah.
You know, it comes with that.
Right. Well, I don't know. They explained this. This thing works on RF. I think it's 450 kilohertz or something.
Right.
That's an interesting concept, and looking forward to trying it out there. All right, I'm going to get the Zoom link here for everybody, and we'll invite everybody to come into Zoom with us.
Yeah. Now I've been using one of the standard soldering stations that has the hot air as well.
I've got a hot air one too, and I've needed that because there's a couple parts I have to put on this tracker that I need that. And
they have but they have tips all the way down. The sizes are like TSO 1 to 9 or whatever, and I generally just buy the TSO 1s by the bucket load, which is their smallest tip. But I don't do the teeny tiny stuff that fits on a flea's back like you do.
Yeah.
About all I do is the flea's back stuff.
Yeah, that is tiny stuff, man. I don't have the dexterity or the eyesight for that anymore.
Well, big magnifying glass, steady hands, and a lot of patience.
Yeah.
It's stuff that you really shouldn't be hand soldering. It's designed for surface mount reflow solder or in a machine. So we're trying to do stuff that they do in a reflow oven by hand.
Yeah. All right, I just posted the link there if anybody would like to join us. Hey, guys, the show, Amateur Radio Roundtable, by the way, if you're listening on shortwave, this is a show about ham radio. I'm Tom, W5KUB, and we're in Western Tennessee, ham radio. And we're going to basically close the official show now so people won't complain that our show is too long. And we're going to go to the show after the show. So we're now going to the show. Wait a minute. This is the after the show show. This is the after the show show. So I got to get that straight. Give us a call. Check in. I put the Zoom link in the chat room. I'll do it again. And again, I'd like to remind everybody, if you will, please hit that subscribe button. That arrow should be pointing toward your subscribe button right there. Please hit your subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. That helps us out a whole lot, man. And join our Facebook group. It's called W5KUB.com. We've got about 12,000 hams in that group, and it's a great ham radio group. Hey, Bill, just real quick, because the weekend's coming up, And I just wanted to mention to anybody that hadn't left us yet, we are going to do our dual launch here. Hopefully Saturday, if the weather holds up, we're going to launch 2 balloons. One is an SBS balloon, and the other is going to be 2 36-inch Chinese balloons. And we're gonna see if we can keep one of them up and around the world. Hopefully, both of them go around. I don't know. They're going to fly at different levels. The 2 Chinese 36-inch balloons will probably fly at around 30,000, and then hopefully our SBS will fly about 42,000 if it doesn't burst. So we're going to be at 2 different levels, and I don't know how long they're going to stay together. Probably not very long, but it's going to be interesting. On my tracking page on w5kub.com, I've got links there where you can actually click, and it'll track both of them at the same time, so you can see where they are in regard to each other. And
Tom, we modified the software a little bit so that they are on slightly different frequencies on the whisper band. They're about 100 hertz apart, so they shouldn't interfere with each other. And it also sends a JT9 signal just after the 2 whisper transmissions, which is sending a 6-digit grid square and then another 4. So it actually sends a 10-digit grid square, which is accurate to within 50 feet. So if it lands in the woods somewhere and you want to go out searching for it, now you know exactly where it is.
Yeah.
But the frequencies are shifted enough that you can fly both balloons, and if they're right next to each other, you're still going to be able to copy them on this new adjustment to the firmware.
So this is what the ants will be riding on. We've got 2 identical. We have 2 identical crafts here that will be flying. This is W5KB 107. Basically, we're trying to keep the weight as low as possible.
Well, where are you going to put the fridge and the heater?
Well, they're going to have to work without it. So, Bill, I like the other solar cells like you use and I've used before. These are very delicate. If you look at these cross-eyed, they'll break. So we have to be very, very careful when we launch this thing, and even when I hold it here. But just to give you an idea what this thing consists of, we've got 6 cells. It's going to give us about 3.7 volts. Here's the little tracker right here we build. We've got build software running on it. The antenna, the GPS antenna, is actually just a piece of wire that is running at a right angle right there. And then on the bottom side, you're not going to see it because they're green, but on the bottom side, I've got 2 super caps there on the bottom. On the bottom side there. So we've got 2 identical systems here to fly. It's on some 1/8 inch, very tough styrofoam. The entire system here is coming in at 10 grams. So that's about as light.
With the antenna weight as well?
That's what. That's what the antenna weighs. This weighs in at 8. This weighs in at about 8.7. Okay. So there our 20 meter dipole, which is 34 feet long, it only weighs 1.49 grams. So this thing's going to come in right at 10 grams total. And we've flown much heavier before, but we're trying to go as light as we can. I like to fly it without the super caps. That would save me about 4 grams. But Bill, Edward flies his without super caps.
You got to have about some capacitance is helpful. I have used 220 microfarads, which is pretty light. But your minimum solar angle goes way up at that point.
Well, and we have experimented in previous flights to have angled panels instead of 3 sides. We actually put them on 2 sides, and they work pretty good because this thing is actually, I think it's going to actually kind of be in the air. It's got to be turning a little bit like this. I mean, that thing is not going to be just perfectly still.
Well, the good news is
I don't think.
the solar elevations are starting to come back up in February.
Yeah.
So it'll work at a higher latitude now.
Yeah. So if this is
Dead of winter is really difficult at higher latitudes, but now it's starting to get pretty good now.
So if this thing does fly level like this, it's going to take a solar angle of probably over 20 degrees before it'll start working. And anyway, Bill, I guess the sun doesn't get up more than about 40 degrees, does it?
Somewhere between 15, probably around 15 degrees is where it'll start working.
And how high is the sun getting right now? I mean, it's...
Oh, here, good. A 15-degree solar angle, you'll probably be up around 50.
Oh, you think it will? Okay.
1 degree latitude, or maybe a little higher than that.
Now, if we take the route and we go up by Greenland and over the top of England that way,
it probably won't work.
The sun is going to be so low, the angle, that we probably won't get many reports there.
Yeah, much above 51 to 55 degree latitude, then you're going to have some days where you won't transmit.
Yeah. You know, Bill, I was looking at the jet stream.
But that'll improve as we start getting towards spring and the equinox.
I was looking at the jet streams here, Bill, and they're 180, 200 miles an hour in some places. Man, I mean,
I know.
They're trucking right now. Yeah.
This is one. February is one of the best times of the year to fly. 2 reasons: you've got the fastest jet stream, and you've got very few thunderstorms going on in the northern hemisphere, as long as you keep above the tropics. We had one flight, AB5SS-84, I think it was, from the South Texas Balloon Group. They came within, I don't know, a couple hundred miles of completely going around the world. They were flying around 30,000 feet or so, and they dropped down into the tropics around 2 degrees latitude and 8 degrees, and they before they made it completely around, they hit some icing and down they came.
I want to introduce. This is new for us. Everybody that follows us knows Huey, Dewey, and Louie. They're very seasoned astronauts. They've made many flights over the past 2 years. They've survived a lot of crashes. They've made it around the world a couple times. They're seasons. They're going again. They're going to be riding the SBS. The new crew now. That's 2 military with 1 government contractor on the Huey, Dewey, and Louie side. So that's a government crew there, basically. Now, over on the right side here, we got Larry Darrell and his other brother Darrell. Now, they're civilians. They're all civilians, and they're going to be riding the 2 Chinese 36-inch balloons. So
I think we got them out of your front yard last summer.
Yeah. So I don't know how they're going to do. They're civilians, our first civilian crew. I don't know, man. And plus,
well, it's a good thing you're using hydrogen, because otherwise they'd be snorting the helium.
Plus, I'll tell you, I'm not sure I'd be wanting to ride on those 2 Chinese balloons, to tell you the truth, man. Oh, man.
I don't know. The way the SBSs have been doing you, maybe the Chinese will go further.
You know, I wasn't going to do another SBS, but I thought, hey, I'm into Balloon Anonymous. Not Anonymous. Yeah, Balloon Anonymous.
Balloonaholics.
I'm a balloonaholic, just like Bill. And
I saw your post, Tom, with all those cardboard tubes.
Yeah. I saw.
I equaled you.
Yeah, I saw that, and I know that's probably not all.
I'll see your tubes and raise you about 50.
Yeah, that's probably not all of your tubes, and of course that wasn't all of our tubes. And
that wasn't all of mine either, but I had like 9 or 10 of them.
And the interesting thing is, some of those tubes had multiple balloons in them.
Now, something you need to be aware of for this weekend, Tom, is Saturday morning. It is supposed to be bitter cold. I mean, you're talking down into the teens.
Well,
and you've got an ice storm coming up. Ice and snow coming up in the next 2 days.
Tomorrow night, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming north after that.
Well, I tell you, man, it's going to be tough here.
I got to show you. See, this is This is
Wow.
the map that they gave us.
24
And
inches.
I live right about here, just above that sea. And let me tell you, we had some serious snow. And let me see. I got a picture of it here somewhere.
I was actually in D.C. for the blizzard of '78. You can keep that stuff.
That is my driveway, and my house is to the yellow one there. And I got a oil fill right about there. Okay, that I have to go in. I got about a half a tank, so I mean, you know, I'm not really worried. And this is what we post when they come up. That's a Prudential building in downtown Boston. So,
well, hey, I don't know what you're complaining about. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tom. You come up here and you try and drive in this stuff.
Oh no,
man!
no,
Look,
no.
Bill,
I was in Minneapolis when the blizzard hit, and that stuff was like beach sand.
Let me say this. I don't know what Bill's complaining about. He's got it easy up here. He only got 24 inches. Now, he's used to this stuff. Now, down here, we might get about a quarter inch here Thursday night. And it's going to be tough, but I got my generator.
3 flakes and we shut the town down.
Yeah, that's right.
They buy all the bread and milk.
Yeah, I mean, if I take an ice cube and throw it on the side of the street, it'll ruin the whole interstate for a day.
Glenn, if you have 1 inch of snow in the south here, it shuts the city down for exactly 1 day. We had 7-inch snow, and they were shut down for 1 full week.
I remember back in the late 80s, early 80s, like 84, 85, you were iced in for at least a week and a half.
Now, when I lived in Peterborough, New Hampshire.
Oh, yes. Come on now.
Sorry, New Hampshire. We had a 36-inch snowstorm once, and I opened my front door of my house, and there was just a wall of snow all the way to the top of the door with the imprint of a door in it. I had to crawl out a window. Couldn't find my car. I saw a little tiny metal tip sticking out of the snow, and that was the top of my car antenna. I spent all day digging the driveway out, and I finally got it down to the end of the road when the snowplow came through and knocked 10 feet of snow at the end of snow and ice at the end of my driveway.
Yeah.
No, they had it. The roads cleared within a couple hours. I could actually, once I got my neighbor to plow out the end of my driveway, I could go to the store. But here, they just pour red dirt on it and hope for the best.
Well, what year was that, Bill? Was that 68, 69?
No, that was 1981, somewhere in there, 82 maybe.
Because again, in 85, you had something similar.
Wasn't that the blizzard? No, wait a minute. The blizzard was 78. But yeah, I remember my mother called and she said, "Don't come home. Don't come home."
It was 92.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
91, 92, somewhere in there.
Yeah, 92, we had that thunder snow in Birmingham, and we got like 12 inches overnight.
That's the one. And that's the one that dropped 3 feet in New Hampshire.
Well, there were drifts in my apartment complex that were 2 feet high from that one.
The snow was 10 foot high on either side of the road. It looked like a toboggan run in the Olympics.
Yeah, I would sit at my second story window and look out, and you could watch in the distance as the power lines came down and the spark like explosions all over town. The whole town was shut down for days.
What we worry about is ice, and you're going to get a little ice out.
We're getting ice this trip.
And you get over a quarter inch of ice, you got some real problems. And Tom will get a chance to use his new generator.
I might, man.
They are predicting a quarter of an inch of ice for us tomorrow, or Wednesday night, Thursday morning.
If that happens, look, our power will go out. We have so many trees that fall here.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure mine will go out, too.
You'll be all set now, Tom, with that generator.
Yeah, I'll be driving across town or I'll be bobsledding across town to Tom's house to get warm.
Come on, man. Come on.
How long does that Generac keep power on your house?
As long as the natural gas will keep coming out the pipe.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
They told me. They told me
think of a time that natural gas has not worked.
It's on regular maintenance to have the oil filter changed and stuff. They told me if it runs solid more than 30 days, that they will come out to resurface it. They don't want it running more than 30 days without.
Oh, good grief!
Without resurfacing.
Now, Tom, you do realize that I work for the gas company.
Yeah,
your gas company.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll make sure that you get your gas.
Make sure my gas comes in here, man. I want to do a shout out. We got a guest in here from Ireland tonight. He says he likes the show, and hey, we're glad to have you southeast of Ireland there.
Yeah, he said it was 48 something degrees there.
48.
I don't know if that was Celsius or Fahrenheit, but 48.2.
48 would be pretty hot, man.
Yeah, I was going to say that's got to be Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Well, it does get cold over there. What was it, 2000? I went over there about this time, and they had, I don't know, -1 Celsius, -4 Celsius. And it really wasn't cold. I said to myself, God, I was, winter jacket and whatever, running around the county Cork there. And I mean,
Well, Bill, what was interesting, when I was in St. Louis, like I say, it was 17 degrees the morning of the Hamfest. And it was cold, but not bad. I went to Jackson this past weekend, and it was 28 degrees. And by the time I walked from my car to inside the building, my hands were frozen stiff. I didn't need gloves in St. Louis. I had to put my gloves on, and it was a half hour before I could feel my hands again in Jackson. That was amazing.
Did you, by chance, did you see George Thomas down there?
Name doesn't sound familiar. I know people by call signs. I don't know your name.
Oh, W5JDX.
No, I don't remember that call.
Oh, okay. Because I sent him a regret. I says, I'm confined to home. I can't make it this weekend.
It was actually.
Said, look, I showed him a picture, and he said to me, he says, keep it up there. Keep it up there.
Now, you know that they tore down the old Trade Mart, and they rebuilt a new one right next to the Coliseum down there. And the new building's very nice.
That's good. I'm happy that they had it.
It was a very nice facility, a nice Hamfest, and I sold stuff, so that makes it even better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Jackson was fun. Of course, it's only a 3-hour drive for me. That was easy. I made the decision to fly to Dayton this year.
That's probably a good one.
Of course, I'm flying to Orlando. Yeah.
I win the Powerball, I'll be there to see you.
If I win the Powerball, I'll buy your ticket.
Thank you.
Well, it's only it's down to 100 and something million. Somebody hit the $500 million one last month.
I missed it.
Yeah. And somebody hit a 400 million mega million the other day.
Oh, Lord.
It wasn't me. I'm still having to work.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, like I was saying, the FTDX 101 MP is right around the corner. And right after that, I'm getting the ICOM 9700 for satellite work.
I got to take I was going to go up on the roof today, but I had to show. I need to take my satellite antennas down since the rotors aren't.
I almost bought you a climbing belt in Jackson.
Well, I got a climbing belt.
I was going to buy you one so you can get on top of your roof.
Yeah, I got a climbing belt. I don't need it to where I'm going, but yeah.
That's why I was going to buy it, just for the irony of it.
Yeah. Friend of mine.
It's too cold to be outside. I need to work outside on my cobweb, and it is too cold to even think about being outside for more than 20 minutes.
I may just disassemble my satellite station. I may just take those antennas down and leave them down. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm really looking forward to getting back and playing with it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm starting. You know, like I say, the workbench is cleared. I'm starting to get time available again. So,
Well,
got to
hey,
get the antennas put together.
you know, I've got a climbing belt. I had a tower back years ago. I had an 80-foot tower I put up myself, and I was stupid doing it. I had no experience doing it. Everybody thinks, you know, hey, I can be safe and I can do this, but let me tell you, it isn't that easy. Things can go wrong. But anyway, a friend of mine worked for the Defense Depot. He was a lineman, and that's where I got my belt. And Glenn, he would climb up on top of these telephone poles, and he'd stand on top of them.
Oh yeah.
And he told me, he said, now when you go up that tower, shake it and just shake that tower as much as you can and threaten it to fall.
Exactly.
That's what he told
Do
me
you
to do.
realize when I was younger, I used to climb the 300-foot microwave towers, and I had no fear climbing up the outside of those. I was comfortable, but on the 60-foot concrete poles that would sway, I could never get comfortable to those, no matter how tightly I was strapped in, because every time you move, the pole shook.
Well,
I
I'll
was just
tell
like,
you,
no,
I'll tell
I'm not
you.
into that.
I'm lucky that I'm still here. I mean, I remember when I first, and I've owned several repeaters over the years, and we started off with a repeater on my tower. You know, a repeater ain't going to work very good on an 80-foot tower, especially with two antennas, you know, one at 80 feet, maybe one at 40 feet. It just not going to work that great. But for a ham friend of mine locally here came over one night. It was wintertime. We had ice on the tower. And we had to just get the repeater antennas up there. So I went up, I put one antenna up. I came down, he went up, and this is nighttime. Nighttime, we had lights up there, ice everywhere. And he was up there in a long time, man. And I kept saying, are you okay up there? He said, I'm warming my hands. He had his hands in his pocket. But he swallowed, while he was up there, he swallowed a lock washer.
Ooh.
Oh, and did he have to wait till the next day to get it back?
I have no idea. I didn't ask
or
for
did he
that.
bring a spare with
I
him?
didn't ask for that information, so we probably.
I hope it wasn't one of those spiky ones.
Yeah.
We
Those
probably-
star lock washers. Ouch.
Oh man, that would be
We
bad.
we probably put the nut on there without a lock washer. So, but I didn't want to get too upset with him because after all, he was up there on the tower in the ice storm, swallowing lock washers just to help us.
Now I had
There is
that was on probably 200 feet up on a commercial tower, working on the repeater antenna at night, standing on top of the commercial radio FM transmitter antenna. And he said, now, before I go up there, I want to make sure you go to low power at night, right? And he said, yeah, we go back at night, we go down to 500 watts. It was a 50,000 watt station. So he gets up there and it's cold. It's, it's about 10 above zero and there's a stiff wind and he's 200 feet up and he's toasty warm. Well, he comes back down and it turns out that the transmitter was on full power.
Yeah.
He
had like the equivalent of an RF burn over his entire body.
Oh, wow.
But he was toasty warm up there.
And he glowed in the dark for weeks afterwards.
Yeah.
But no, like I say, when I was climbing towers when I was younger, that was just part of the job, and I enjoyed it really. But there's nothing worse than dropping your screwdriver and having to climb 300 feet down and 300 feet back up with a new screwdriver.
Well, that's why you have a bucket. That's why you have a bucket on a piece of rope. The guy down on the bottom can put their screwdriver in there, and you can just pull back up.
Well, yeah, we would have that, but we had no communication.
Yeah.
So
You
we
know,
were out
guys,
in the middle of
about
the Everglades.
this, I don't know, this past year, I had a friend of mine on that worked with me. He was a radio engineer from FedEx, and he retired and moved to Central Tennessee, and he built his dream shack there. He built him a house, and he in the basement, he had a ham shack. It was It was probably 30 feet wide by 40 feet long. He had a nice big ham shack, and he was putting up multiple towers last year. And he paid a company to come out and help him put the towers up. And one young guy, he was like 29 years old, he worked for this company that did tower work. And he was up on the tower, and this was written up in, I think this was in CQ and QR's QS2 this last summer. You may have read the story.
Yeah.
He was up at 80 feet, and one of the bolts or something broke in one of the guide wires. It just snapped, and the tower buckled, and it fell, and it killed him right there. And because of that, Skip did not want to even be a ham any longer. He had a hard time recovering from that. This 29-year-old, I think, had a wife and like 4 or 5 kids, a very young couple there. So it was tough. OSHA and different people came out, to investigate. They never found the part that snapped, the bolt that popped or whatever. They never found it. And stuff like that can happen. Just think of something I might put up when I was, 30 years old, not having any experience at all, using used tower and used guy wire and used buckles that I got from somebody.
I look at the stuff I did in my 20s, and I'm wondering why I'm still here.
Yeah, same here. I worked with this guy on a summer job, and he was putting towers up with the Roan 25, and he would carry up that 10-foot section of tower in one arm and walk up with one hand to the top. He would lock his legs into the tower and pull that up and set it down and bolt it in, and then go down and get another section, and he'd have a 100-foot, 125-foot tower in no time flat. But he didn't have a belt on.
I saw a video guy carrying, no gin pole, carrying 10-foot sections up and putting a tower together. I think he was.
I did.
Yeah, he was down in South America somewhere. I mean, they can do amazing things down there. But let me tell you, and this is my last story about my tower climbing. And at my age, I got to be careful climbing steps. Going upstairs.
Yeah, I mean, I get up over 10 feet and I get scared of heights.
So I remember one time. I went up my tower and there was a wasp nest up there. It only probably had 15 or 20 wasps on it. So I easily just passed it. But can you imagine if those suckers got stirred up down here below me? I mean, what is stupid, man?
No. That would be bad, particularly if they were yellow jackets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw a video. We found a whole tray of our 8mm films when we were coming up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
A whole box full of it. And there's a really cool device that you put it on it looks like a movie projector, but instead it has a little screen you can watch what's being played.
Yeah.
But it digitizes the movies.
Yeah.
Into MPEG files, and it's a really cool device. And I just witnessed one when I was about 2 or 3, just after I just learned how to walk, where my parents were encouraging me to climb a 12-foot ladder by putting my favorite toy on the top.
Oh,
and they were standing back taking a film of this, and that's why I could climb towers without fear. I was trained at an early age.
All right, I got a story kind of similar. I had great parents. I love my parents. The old push mower, no engine, but you'd push it and the blades would spin like this. Yeah. My dad, I was a little bitty. I must have been 2 years old. I don't know. I don't remember this. Mom told me. My dad chased me. I probably didn't have any shoes on. My dad chased me with that push mower. And it actually, I got a scar by my ankle from that.
Well, we have pictures of the lawnmower. He'd just turn it on and let it loose, and then he'd stand back and take a picture of us, 2 or 3 years old, sitting on it, trying to steer the thing. And it's just running wild.
Yeah.
But we had no snow. We had no mountains and no hills in northwest Ohio. So he took the grain elevator during a big snowstorm and it created a 20-foot tall snow mountain. And he'd take his front loader and put it in the grain elevator and then made this huge mountain. That thing stayed there until May. And all the neighborhood kids would come and we'd slide down it, but my dad jumped off the top, because we all did, because we were smaller, and rolled down. When he hit, it went clear up to his neck. He almost went completely inside the thing.
Nope. From here on out, for me, it's going to be the crank up tilt over towers, and I'll get on a ladder and do everything that way.
That's what I have right now. I need to put it up, but it's a tilt over. Right now, my satellite antennas, Tom, are 8 feet above the ground.
Well, yeah, they can be on the ground.
They don't need to go any higher.
No,
I was going to say the extra 10 feet's not going to buy you a whole lot.
No, it isn't. And I don't. In fact, that's my regular DX VHF UHF system, because I'm on the edge of a 500-foot cliff. So it's like I have a 508-foot tall tower.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can just get a little ladder, a step stool out, and I can work on those to my heart's content.
I had that when I lived in Birmingham, and I missed that place. I was right on top of one of the mountains outside of town.
We're 500-600 feet above average terrain here.
It's about where I was, yeah. I was just, what was it? Sand Mountain was right across the road from me.
Oh, yeah. I can almost see Memphis from up here. It's 220 miles away.
Wow.
Actually, I can see about 80 miles. I see the halfway point.
Yeah, I used to drive through that cut on Montesano Mountain. What is it, on 231?
Right.
Coming up from Aniana, I used to come through that cut a lot. That was a fun drive coming through there.
Now, a friend of mine, Ernie, WA4BPS, he's got a tower light. He's on top of Montesano Mountain. And he's got a tower light there for aircraft, but it blinks his call sign in Morse code. And with a pair of binoculars, I'm 25 miles away. I can see his tower blinking Morse code.
Oh, that's cool.
As I can see the top of Montesano from here.
So, Bill, with the jet streams, what they are, we had to go with a new speedometer.
That's pretty cool. Where did you get that? Icon, that link.
No, he
got it from a guy who was wearing a dark helmet.
We have to build most of this stuff. We have to build it in our Roundtable workshop. Most of that was.
But that widget, where do you get the widget?
Well, I just got a picture of a speedometer, but I can blank out anything and change anything. With your paint program.
Oh, okay. Well, there was a place here in Madison years ago that made widgets that you could actually have control by sending data that looked just like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So you could do a whole panel and send it data, and it would actually move in real time.
Yeah, with the way the jet stream is right now, if you can get one to stay up, it'll be hauling butt in that jet stream.
I don't know. How many of you guys remember this if you went to Dayton? Anybody remember this?
That was before my time.
Okay, I think ICOM, they did, after that year, they didn't do this anymore. I think they kind of got in trouble, but they hired all these girls to wear bathrobes, and they're in shoes, slippers, and bathrobes, and they walked her all around inside the building there at Hamvention, and my son Chris got them all together and brought them out to our booth when we were outside. This is probably, I don't know, this may have been the 80s, I don't know, but there they are right there. I need to send this to Ray Novak, because I think Ray is the one that instigated this.
But yeah, that was, I didn't go to, my first Dayton was like 2011, 2012, thereabouts. Yeah, I think I was there the year after the sewer explosion.
Yeah. Well, sewer explosion was fun too.
You definitely missed something there, Glenn, I'm telling you.
No, I didn't. It was so funny, had heard about Dayton all these years, and I finally went when my first book came out. And, you know, it took me forever. It literally took at least the first year to learn all the ins and outs of Hera Arena, and, you know, how do you get from one area, and realize that the areas were color coded with the curtains.
Yeah.
I didn't figure that out until the second year.
I've been up here 38 or 39 years now. Probably the first 15 years we were outside, didn't get into buildings too much. And you're right, man. You know, it's like, who knows what. You know, somebody said, well, hey, you want to buy that so-and-so? It's over in that room right there. I can never find the room because...
I was told that if you saw something you wanted it, you bought it then and there because you would never find it again.
But after we moved inside and walked around a few times, we knew exactly where all the different rooms were. So it was pretty easy.
I remember going out in the flea market, and we'd stand in front of your camera.
Yeah.
And we'd call our relatives and say, "Hey, check it out."
Yeah. That was. I think we've been webcasting maybe 18. We started webcasting about 18 years ago, I think.
Yeah, I remember seeing you in the helmet cam at Huntsville many, many moons ago. That would have been like in 90 something, I think.
Oh yeah.
I remember that. I remember the 80s. He was the next booth over from us for the IOOK.
Well, I moved to Birmingham in '84, so it would have had to have been sometime between '84 and '94.
Now, I remember one year when I think probably while Tom was out there in the flea market area of Dayton, it actually snowed.
It did.
Well, there's
that's why they moved it to May from April.
This must be back about 18 or 19 years. Yeah, that is the helmet cam right there.
Yeah,
that's the helmet.
I remember one year that a little mini like a tornado went through the flea market and tents went flying up in the air.
Right. Yeah. The porta-johns went flying too.
Yeah, every year I saw that happen. One year I saw the tents from our thing go up and cross three streets and go down, man. Let's see. We got Ron joining us. He's almost getting in here almost before we close it. Hey, Ron. How you doing, Ron? Hello, Ron.
Yeah, he's coming. It takes a minute or two to...
he'll be there. Hey, Ron.
Let him get in.
Let me tell you, Ron, it says 10 o'clock. I think Ron came in right at the ending. Hey, let me make an announcement real quick, guys. This is the end of our radio show. If you've been listening on WBCQ 7490, 50,000 watts, coming to you out of Monticello, Maine. This show has been about ham radio. We're so glad to have you. Join us again next week.
Yeah, Ron, you got just in time to sign out.
Oh, okay.
Man, you just barely made it.
I want to tell him though. He gave. I'll tell you, Ron. Glen gave you a shout out on your table about all those beautiful shirts that you have there. He wants the one with the Morse code.
It took me a little bit to figure that out because I didn't realize that the H was shared between the vertical and horizontal words.
Yeah, it's like a crossword puzzle.
Yeah, I mean, I had the horizontal figured out, and the H was, I'm like, Appens. I don't understand. What's Appens? And I'm like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, a commonly known phrase that means excrement
occurs.
Excrement occurs.
Yeah. Excrement occurs, yes.
Yeah, but now you had a whole bunch of shirts, and I was trying to decide which ones I really couldn't do without. And I finally said, you know what? I'm not going to do any this trip. I'll catch him next time.
Where are we going to see you next, Dayton?
Probably Orlando.
Orlando. Okay, well that's
or Dayton. Yeah. You know, and I should have some suitcase space for Orlando or Dayton.
Okay. Yeah, you know, we had a good time. We had a nice time. I mean, that's always a good show for us.
Yeah, that was my first time up there, and that was a pretty nice little place. like the convention center and the hotel being right across the street from it.
Now, this is something you wouldn't know if you're not one of the commercial vendors. But what they do, they only have one dock. So the way they handle it is kind of nice. Because it's a Winterfest, and they don't need people, dragging stuff in from outside in the cold. And they only have the one dock. They pull a vehicle in, close the door, after you're in. They get 6 guys from the club to unload your vehicle onto great big carts, push them over to your booth, and get you the hell out of the dock.
Yeah.
And they just get them in one after the other after the other.
It was a nice place. I enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
And like I was saying, for me, it was the first real road trip I've taken in 2 years. And I mean, it was fun doing that 5-hour drive up and back, and it was just relaxing and enjoying to do.
Oh, yeah. And, it's about a 4.5, 5-hour drive for us. So it's not, Yeah, and we've made the trip to St. Louis many, many, many times. I mean, it's, for us, it's real easy. You go to the end of my street, you turn left. You go down 2 stoplights, you turn right. You go down about a mile, and you get on the highway.
That's pretty much me. I went straight up 55 the whole way.
You take 355 to 55 till it runs into 55, and get off 55. 200? You can see the convention center from 55.
Yeah, exactly.
So
guys, I'm going to head out. Tom, let me know if you're going to launch.
We're shooting for Saturday. The guy that helps me, he's going to have eyelids cut on both eyelids, I think, Monday or Tuesday. So, he's pretty tough, but I doubt we'll go out Monday or Tuesday after that and launch.
But it's going to be cold as you know what on Saturday.
Well, I know it, but it's supposed to be mostly clear. So, man, we got this ice and stuff coming in tomorrow night and Thursday. If we don't get launched then, it's probably going to be later the next week. But do a launch, guys. Do a launch this weekend. If you're still listening on the show, we're gonna get them both in the air, and hopefully one of them will stay up this time. It's our turn to have some good luck.
Yeah, watch them both go around the world.
Yeah, they might do it.
That'd be cool.
They might do it.
Well, maybe these guys will find them.
All right. Yeah, maybe. All right. Look, hey, I'm out of here. If you guys want to stay on Zoom, I'll just leave the Zoom on.
No, I'm out of here too. It's time for a snack.
Yep.
Yeah,
me
time
too.
for that.
All right. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Enjoyed it. See you later.
Good night.
Thank you.